Africa does not need democracy.
What do we need?
It's a smokescreen of lies.
I think it's just like by any means necessary. Dictators, socialists, communists, whatever, we just don't care. We need somebody who's going to turn the country around.
Yeah.
Africa needs military dictators.
Military, not just any other dictator.
Military for security. Dictators in that they must dictate the right thing.
In Africa, there are two main ways to become a millionaire very quickly. One is to become a pastor, and the other option is to become a politician. This is no new.
I've always said a leader is one who knows the way, right? Goes the way and shows the way. And that is what we lack in most African countries. For my country, love of country is no more there because of these political parties. And
we need people that are purposeful, cutting down the bureaucracy of democracy and getting things done.
There are a leader in Africa he's now become a global icon or star, and especially for the African youth, is the Burkina Faso president at the moment. Of course, not elected democratically, but neither here nor there.
What is democracy? What is democracy?
Whatever they define as democracy, yes. So he took over via coup. So what is your take about Ibrahim Traore?
He has become a model. And I said it once, I'll say it again, even on your platform. Africa does not need democracy.
What do we need?
It's a smokescreen of lies, which allows imperialism and neocolonialism to continue. Africa needs dictators.
Do you agree?
Yeah, well, he has to make his point though, right? He probably has like a good reason for saying that.
His point is secondary to you. Do you agree? That is all. Do you feel that in this current state, like you've known Africa for some time, or you were born and bred in Ghana for some, do you think as a country like Ghana, we need something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. It would depend on how you approach it. We just don't need just a dictator for having a dictator's sake, right? We need a dictator that can perform. Just like you mentioned Traore, right? If Traore was not doing a good job, then people would be like, what? Never again. You know what I mean, right? So I think it's just like by any means necessary. Dictators, socialists, communists, whatever, we just don't care. We need somebody who's going to turn the country around.
Yeah.
Right, like you said, Traore is the model. That's why I think he's referring to that, because Traore is the only one showing the way now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you look at, it's not only Burkina Faso that's been ruled by military leaders. We have Mali, we have Niger, we have Guinea, General Doumbouya, and you don't hear as much going on, especially in Guinea, like it is going on in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. So, yeah, you dictatorship, not in the complete sense of it, but if you're going to have the right person, why not? You know, just like it's happening in Burkina Faso, and that's why he's saying he's a model of the kind of dictator that we want. Right.
Yeah. Right. Let me put in a word before we go on. The problem with this words, it's like a wordplay kind of thing, right? What does dictate? It's like automatically everybody hears dictator and we feel like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think it's about what the person is trying to do and achieve, right? If the person is going to dictate for the country to move in the right direction, what's wrong with that?
Right. And he explains
every form of government is kind of dictative in a way. I mean, they come up with laws and policies without our consent. I mean, isn't that dictatorship?
Yeah.
They tell us what to do.
In the name of democracy.
Exactly. They tell you when to pay your bills. You got to pay your taxes. If you don't, there are consequences. The same thing. I don't really understand what this wordplay. People call China a communist country. Communist. Look how far China is. And now many foreigners coming to China and they're like, they feel way more free than being in the so-called, free countries.
All right.
So it's just a form of wordplay. I don't really. I think you have to look at the person, the character, the achievement, the goal, the vision, right? Not just the form of governance.
Right. Yeah. And I think he elaborates it very well.
Africa needs military dictators.
Military, not just any other dictator.
Military for security. Dictators in that they must dictate the right thing. We need people that are purposeful, cutting down the bureaucracy of democracy and getting things done. If you walk up into your parliament right now, you'll have papers the size of this room of good ideas that have never been implemented, roads that have never been finished, buildings and hospitals that have not been repaired, but budget approved and voted. It's in the pipeline.
I like how he clarified it. The lady was like military dictatorship, and he said yes, military, one, for security, and two, to dictate the right direction, right? So kind of like what we're saying, and he has explained it perfectly. I mean, not just any dictator, but somebody who would go along with these two key pillars, right? Security, because a military guy will do it better, and also have the strong will to dictate things, the direction that the country should go.
The leadership mindset, and that is what he's trying to say. Like, if you look, it's true. Like for some time now, look at he will anyway. Let me leave my point. I want to make a point when he reached there.
The thing that he said that made me like kind of set up is like, in the end he summed it up. That gets things done. Ultimately, that's what people want. So the thing is, like I said, look at what's happening in the West, right? Can you tell me what is really free in the West? It's the land of the free. Whatever democracy, what's really free in the West?
You pay more bills than
you pay
than
property taxes, car insurance, everything is on credit. You know what I mean, right? And the crazy part, if you come to a place like Africa, it's like everything is cash based. You own a land, it's yours. You build a house, it's yours. No property tax, as long as you pay you pay tax once you acquire the land, right? You get your building permit. That's it.
Yeah.
So the point is, if somebody's gonna get things done, they're gonna build roads, they're gonna build hospitals, they're gonna make sure the infrastructure is good and serving the people. Does it really matter if he's wearing a military uniform or he's wearing like a suit and a tie? Doesn't matter. No. At the end of the day, if you look at China, right? Why do you think over 1.4 billion people they're not really rising up and saying we want a government change, we want we want democracy? Why aren't they doing that? Because the government is getting things done.
Not free. People say they are not free.
But that's the thing. What aren't they free to do? If you ask anybody, tell me 3 things Chinese people cannot do, they'll be like, oh, they can say whatever they want. Yes, they can say whatever they want. But just like us Africans, right? We have this thing about respecting your elders and your leaders.
Yeah.
So we don't get on the radio and just call our leaders names or call the West. They like that. They call their president or whoever like whatever they want. You have 27-year-old like Nick Fuentes. He goes on air on his podcast, calls all these. He's even like hurling like insults at the vice president's wife because she's Indian. But it's acceptable because it's like freedom of speech. But it doesn't have to be freedom of insult.
Yeah,
Chinese say whatever they want to say, but like this, it's in a what? It's in a form of like what do you call it? Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Because I've always said this to many people: no other people complain more than Chinese. Chinese people complain a lot. If the tap is not flowing, if something, the area man, like Wuye or your landlord, they complain a lot. The school, it's like no, this teacher is not. They always complain. Group chats everywhere, they're complaining, and the government also they take notice.
Yes.
And they try to do something about it. But people don't want to say they feel like Chinese are these kind of like repressed people with their head down all the times. Yes, sir. No.
Yes,
no.
Sir. Yeah.
You just don't understand the way things work.
It's in the pipeline. And in the midst of that pipeline, procurement, corruption, and preferential procurement, looting and stealing is happening. How does a minister walks into a government with 50,000 shillings become a millionaire in 2 years? With a salary that can't afford 3 pairs of shoes. Where does he get the money from? Any government minister who becomes a millionaire after being to a government office is a thief.
Yeah.
This is what I've been saying for you know what, and this is what we think freedom is.
It's freedom to steal. That's what freedom is, right? You're free to steal. That's what freedom is.
This is democracy. A certain form of I'm not saying even dictatorship comes with certain crooks, right? That we all know. But when they know what the law that they are going to face, they know the kind of punishment they are going to receive if they get caught. You understand? We all reference to the Chinese system. They know, the officials know, and we all say this: there are corrupt people everywhere.
The point is, when you hear about corrupt officials being caught in China, what happens?
Yes.
Okay, and then when you hear a corrupt official being caught in Ghana, what happens?
We pray.
Yeah, the case stays in court for years. So
it's the same thing in the West, in the same thing in America. It's like I don't even get it. Let's move on.
In Africa, there are 2 main ways to become a millionaire very quickly. One is to become a pastor, and the other option is to become a politician. This is no news. And even the arms of government, the corruption goes on there so vividly to the ordinary citizen. You are there, and they say, okay, they've ordered 275 Toyota Land Cruisers, and they're deducting from your salary. Recently, A+ said the same thing. He said they brought some cars, and they already started deducting it from his. He said on a TV station, they've already started deducting from his money. So even though he didn't ask for it, he has to claim the car because they're already deducting from his salary. So even in government, it's very clear it happens. So what people even do in secret is even far greater. So yeah, like he's saying, it just all these things, plans, projects, parliamentary discussions, giving
Yeah,
out
and
tenders, projects. It just
yeah,
makes
and the
way for
crazy part
corruption.
is, I mean, even think about the elections itself. The one with the most amount of money, the one who can pay off people, the one who can
Yes.
lobby, right?
Yeah.
The one who
Mhm.
has the means to manipulate social media and get into
Manipulate,
people's
yeah.
head. They're the
Yeah.
ones that win. It's not necessarily the best one for the job.
Yep.
But I
Exactly.
always go back to China because China, it's different. It's always the top of the top, the elites, the engineers, people who have like, huge amounts of like experience in different fields. They're the ones at the top. It's not about who's got the most money, who can lobby the most, who can get on social media and change the minds of people. No, it's more like the doers, people who can get the job done. So I feel like it's the same thing Burkina Faso now, right? Traore is getting the job done. Call him a dictator, call him a socialist, call him a communist. Is he getting the job done?
Yeah.
That's all.
That has been our problem.
There's no millionaire who becomes a millionaire through government salaries. I make that statement loud and clear. So this whole concept of democracy is a facade, the entertainment for the poor, to think that by voting a president into power, they've actually put a man in control. We need people like Traore, who wakes up in the morning and said, I need 3,000 trucks of road equipment on the road by tomorrow. And 3 kilometers from Ghana into Burkina Faso, they are there by tomorrow. I need a hospital there. I need an aeroplane manufacturing industry there. And you need to give a president power, the one who can decide, not the one who can steal, the one who can decide and make a change. We look at our countries. Look at Kenya, almost 50 years of independence.
60.
Look
63 actually.
Look at
The point
Yeah,
here
I'm happy
is
he
we
talked
have-
about this, the road thing. Let me just throw this in.
Okay.
When Traore came into power, he already brought in hundreds of road manufacturing equipment, tractors for farmers, land cruisers for medical doctors to go into the hinterlands. And just a month ago, before Christmas, they brought in another huge consignment of road construction equipment. And if you go on Facebook, there are people making videos showing that the machines are already on the road and they are constructing roads everywhere in the country.
Every day.
Some parts of Burkina Faso had never seen a tarred road since independence. All those places are now seeing construction going. And that's exactly what he's saying. You need a leader who comes up and says, I want this, and within 24 hours, it's done. Maybe 24 hours is over ambitious, but I mean, getting things done quickly without going to parliament, getting approval, being opposed by opposition, it's all a total waste of time. And I was telling you off camera, when was the last World Cup? It was 4 years ago. Now 4 years have been added to your life, which means some politician has stayed, some democratically elected president has stayed in power for 4 years, 8 years. But you have changed, you have aged, but your country has not grown. So you see how
important
much
leadership
time
is.
we don't have on our hands in Africa.
Yeah.
We're just wasting away. People are getting old and never seen any development in their country, which is really, really appalling.
We especially Ghana, like I've always said, a leader is one who knows the way, right? Goes the way and shows the way. And that is what we lack in most African countries. For my country, we've lacked this for the past six how old are we now? 60 something.
Oh, you are an ancestor, so that's
he's an artifact.
Yeah, and my artwork is dropping. Like the paint on the artwork I've done for the past is fading away. Still nothing is happening in the country. You understand?
Just like El brought up, if you have a country that every time a new government come into power, right, the first thing on their minds is to bring in V8 Toyota Land Cruisers for the parliamentarians. That should tell you everything about the government. Like just like A plus has a Ram, a Dodge Ram or something, a really really good car. He doesn't need a V8 car.
Yes,
but you just have to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the concept.
Because it's in that purchasing contract that somebody is going to make some extra money.
Some money, yeah.
So what?
And then you have the Minister of Interior going to a wedding and just making it rain on the bride. The point is, it doesn't matter if it's state money or if it's your money. People are going through hell. You should not be even doing that on social media. It shows the kind of person you are. You know what I mean, right? So this alone should tell you we have like a government that is full of like jokesters.
Yeah. All right, let's listen to
Ghana 63. Look at Zimbabwe 40-something, and the roads that the colonialists built. We're even battling to repair them with potholes and etc. And you wonder, for the past 45 years, what are we doing? Here's the Minister of Roads, here's the Minister of Public Works, but they simply can't get things done. So what do you need? You need a leader. Boko has picked up the signal. Walks up one morning and says, no more diamonds are living here. we are going to beneficiate themselves. You look at Mali, come on, no more. Uranium is going out. We're going to benefit it here. We need Ghana. We need Kenya to say no more coffee lives here. We will make the chocolates from here. Belgium must order chocolates made in Kenya. You can't take our coffee and take it to Belgium and say it's produced in Belgium. What the hell are you talking about? Who are you cheating here? You don't even have a single bush of a coffee tree in Belgium and say they're the producers of coffee. Who is lying to who? Britain cannot be the sole mother of determining the price of gold. You don't even have a quarry mine to bring me 2 or 3 dust of gold in your country. Where are you getting it from? Allowed.
Stealing.
Thuggery. That's why I called Britain, Pambe for me, the home of the Tomb Raiders when I discovered it in August.
Yeah, so I mean, that's interesting that he brought all, and these are things that I mean, young Africans talk about when we meet, right? Especially those of us in the diaspora. You can understand why Switzerland and Belgium would be the, let me put it this way in quotes, the chocolate capitals of the world. When they don't have a single grove of chocolate trees, it just doesn't make sense to the ordinary person. And our leaders are sitting down watching this thing go on. We'll make
They're
the
not
chocolate
sitting
here.
down and watching. They're pocketing the money. What do you mean they're sitting down? They're the ones selling them.
Well, you've even gone further. But I mean, like you said, until we get to the point where we decide that, okay, now no more raw gold, I mean, cocoa or whatever is leaving the country. If you want to come and buy the paste from here, or you buy the chocolate, I mean, people will come around and they'll set up, they'll come around the table to have better discussions. Look at what happened with our gold board, right? In 1 year, we're able to generate about $10 billion internally. So can you imagine how much gold? I'm sure some is still leaking, but can you imagine over the 60-something years, how much gold has been stolen from us? It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, I feel like when we say that, we're always looking at the outside, not the inside. When you say stolen from us, what do you mean stolen from us?
Stolen stolen doesn't mean by foreigners. It could also mean by our own leaders,
our own people.
Yeah, it's not like could also mean they're the ones selling it to them either for free or for like some personal gains.
Because you need a ship or a plane to carry these things out. We have customs, we have immigration. How do these things get out?
When you tell me somebody's stealing gold, how do you still go through customs through like on the airplane or whatever and then take it back? It's ridiculous, preposterous.
Leadership is an action. It's not a position. And until we learn to yes, it's true. It's an action. You have to stand up and be.
No. I like the way you're kind of defining leadership, because everybody knows what leadership is about. But they just don't care. They don't care.
I was about to say that until
President Mahama knows what leadership is better than both of us.
But until we start challenging them and pushing them, because I cannot get up and go and do a coup or anything like that. But we need to remind them that, hey, you are here to serve us, not for us to serve you. You understand? Because look, Tobacco, you earlier mentioned about like even look at times when we talk about politics, we're talking about politics. Look at how divided we are as a country. You cannot raise a critical point. Infrastructure, we have infrastructure problem. We have a lack of companies or manufacturing companies all over the country. We lack those things. When those things are raised, somebody that feels that, oh, you are not from my political party, think what you're saying is bogus, right? And until we kind of rewash that mentality and start doing the right thing and start getting the right leaders, right? Not because you can pay me more, then we are going to be 100 years will come very soon. It's just around the corner. We are 63 or 65.
And by the way, next month, I'm going to meet up with Trory, with Mama Chombori and Lumumba, and 1,000 Americans who have been given citizenship into Burkina Faso. Repatriation of the African children will happen in my lifetime. I will be there when we're talking about the one Africa. You countries who are progressive, Kenya in particular, Nigeria and South Africa, big-headed, because your economies are doing very well. May God bless you. The rest of Africa will start marching behind young men such as Ibrahim Traore. 3 countries are in: Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, and Zambia are opening their borders to each other. You, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, I wish you can make this thing much more active. And if these 3 in the north, 4 in the south, 3 in the center, 4 plus 3 plus, we already have 13 countries that are already thinking in one space. This is where my head gets spinning. Why can't these presidents who are thinking in the same space call a conference? Call a conference together. Create a passport for us. Let's start moving with those that are moving. Yeah. Those that are busy dragging their feet behind with French, with the Portuguese and what, and monkeying around this agenda. We want a one Africa. 63 years later, still talking about a united Africa. The passports have been designed. They're there. The national anthem is there. The money has been designed, is there. We lack the political power to implement these decisions. This is the bureaucracy that I'm talking about, which is a hamstring. And I hope the Gen Zs are listening to me. Don't just talk about Kenyan politics. You need to move your agenda beyond the borders of Kenya. Unfortunately, I was listening to you the other day. It feels bad that you are also now getting caught up in the South African mischief. The Luos and the Kikuyus, now even the Gen Zs are divided between the Luos. Back to this tribal nonsense.
We are working towards
the same mess
away.
that Raila and Kenyatta were fighting for years before you were even born. It has now resurfaced, even amongst the young people. I thought you were Gen Zs, you were progressive. You studied together, same universities, sharing notes. But all of a sudden, when old gods with their old theories of tribal divisions come amongst you, here the Luos are now on one side, the Maasais on the other side, the Kikuyus on the other side, the same devil that destroyed you has resurrected amongst yourselves. Wake up, Kenya!
We are getting away.
Wake up, Kenya! I'm not amongst you, but I'm with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So do you think...
Regroup.
We are
had a very good thing happening there.
Yeah, we are regrouping for sure. Do you think Traore is becoming a threat to African leaders?
He's not a threat.
Most African leaders.
He has become a model. And let me say this. Let me just sit up straight.
Yes, please.
Any African president who's coming into power in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, I'm here with all our social media footprint and influence.
Yeah.
I like the part where he talks about now the Gen Zs and the young people being divided and no, and it's really, really true. And I can only speak for Ghana because we come from Ghana, because it's the same exact problem we have. If you think about it, just like Ed said, right? NDC, NPP, NDC, NPP, but we all from the same country. So the point is like, one party just disagrees with the other just because they don't belong to the same party. They do not focus on the issues at hand. Because we had somebody like, what's his name? Cheddar, right? Nana Komi Bediako, who was like a unifying front. And because I don't know if it's lack of education, right? People were not looking at what the guy was talking about. Because in the end, what he talks about, we can hold him accountable for those things he's saying, right? But it's like, NDC, NPP, it was the same playbook they had. They did not tell us anything new, but yet they voted for them again. So can we address that? Why is that happening? Why do we see a fresh brain, fresh blood, somebody who's got tons of ideas? He gave them to us like, on the whiteboard. These are my intentions. Yet he was not even close to like the NDC or NPP in terms of votes.
I think
let me answer. Leo, sorry. Yeah. You remember I always use that's my favorite go-to word, right? Love of country is no more there because of these political parties, and people have sold their intellect for some few cities, right? Because if you have love for country, the first thing you think about the same things you mentioned: road, good electricity, good everything. Like these are the things you wish for yourself, because you see in other countries, all these so-called big countries, second country, first country, or world, whatever the tag is, it is because their leaders has positioned those things for them. So they don't, I'm not saying in the US they don't have the right and the left or whatever, but look at us. You have to look from home first. The reason is we've been divided because most of this youth is all about, I don't care anymore. What I get is what I get. So for some time now, our politics have sowed the seed of selfishness, greed. I don't care. It's the same. That is why somebody will sign a contract of 10 million to construct a 500-meter road. You understand the state of mind where we are, and that other political party comes and say, okay, he did 500, I'll also do 1,000, and I'm better off. Right? And we, the citizens that we're supposed to unite and call those people out, we are divided.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I look at this thing, I blame it on 4 main things. 1, favoritism. 2, nepotism. 3rd one is corruption. And the 4th one is lack of systems. Because favoritism, nepotism, and corruption. So only when I belong to this party and only when my party is in power is when I can get contracts. My kid can only get a job if my party is in power, because I know somebody up there who can push him somewhere. So
but honestly, how many people get those opportunities? Let me. Now, I agree with you, but I'm saying how many people get those opportunities?
Exactly,
even if
and that is why.
Power.
And the reason why. Look, can I finish my point? So the reason why not many people have that opportunity is because everybody wants to get that opportunity, so they must attach themselves to a party. Because if you don't attach yourself to a party, then you are left out. You get a catch. So everybody's trying to get close to the top somewhere. That is what is causing the problem. And I also talked about systems. I mean, a country like Belgium, sometimes Belgium goes like 2-3 years without a president, but the country still runs. Why? Because they have policies and systems enshrined in their constitution. So whoever becomes a president, you're basically a leader. That is why you will see the Dutch president riding bicycle on the road, because there's nothing saying that he has to enjoy this and this and that. You are just supposed to come and preside over the system. You are not supposed to come and be creating new stuff because the system is already in place. So I think that for me personally, these are the main reasons. If you don't get yourself attached to a political party, you are not getting anything. You are just in the doldrums. So if we don't change, which I don't know how we're going to do it, it's just going to continue to be like that as long as we go democratic. Because if I want my kid to join the army and become a captain, I need to know someone up there in the party. If I want my kid to do whatever, I need to know somebody. That's what's killing us. That's what's
but I think that is rather counterintuitive, right? Because if you look at it, right, if you say, okay, you want to attach yourself to a party because you want opportunities. I mean, think about you, the average person. What are the chances? It's almost like saying, I want to join the Black Stars. What are the chances you're going to make it to the Black Stars? You know what I mean? So I mean, what are the chances that you're going to have this attachment to one party to a point that your family or your kid is going to go, up to the upper echelons of society? It's almost zero. But give me a second. No, but give me a second. The point I'm trying to make is that you as an individual, and maybe talking about the young guys, Gen Z, the youth, you got to look at, like you say, if you are sitting in, right? Look at your current situation. Do you have a job? Is your school, do you have like all the supplies, the infrastructure? So you got to look at your personal situation, look at all the candidates and choose the one that has the best ideas. Secondly, what was the number one thing they were kind of like, throwing against Cheddar? Nana Kwame Bediako. He was young. He had no political experience. He had no political experience. He's too young and he's just a business guy. Focus on your business, make your money. Is Trump a politician? No. Traore a politician? No. So that's my point. They have good ideas and they sold it to the public. But the point with us, we're not looking at the guy's ideas. We're just looking at the fact that he hasn't been in political office before. What does that have to do with anything? Look at the guy's ideas. Can you really tell me any of the candidates had a better idea than what Cheddar had?
Yeah, and that's the problem we're having, because then if you, like we say in Ghana, you go wedge tire. That's the syndrome back home. If you're waiting for the right leader to get in politics, you're going to die old and still get nothing. So that was my main point, that people are tired of waiting. And so what do? They try to attach themselves so that they can get some benefits. A lot of people think this way, but if you're waiting, it's not going to happen. So what do? People just end up joining some political party and trying to get up there and also enjoy part of the cake. And it keeps getting endemic and more serious, because now nobody wants to think outside the box. Because if you don't get close to the top, you're out. You're left out.
Yeah.
And you look at all the people who are. I mean, how is it that a political party comes in power and their party chairman, their party this, their party that, keeps enjoying? You know what I mean? He's probably on salary. He's getting contracts. He's getting this. Because if you don't get there, you're not going to get those things. So unfortunately, it's really bad. But I believe that's what's going on. Like, you really need to get.
So this is why when people complain, I don't really understand when people complain. I mean, you voted for a certain party or a political party, and then they're in power now. Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining?
No, but
your party's in power now. So why are you complaining? Your life should be better, right?
No, but people, most of the time they put the blame on those complaining that they are from the other camp. You understand? So you're trying to tell everybody who voted for NDC now, they all okay. They all have like better lives. They enjoy life. That is what it should be. That is what they hope to be. But man, the state in which we are,
Anyways, guys, I think maybe we can throw this out there to our audience to start some discussion. Let's look at what do you think are the problems? How can Africa get out of this thing of democracy that is slowing us down? I mean, even if we're sticking to democracy, if that's your opinion, how do you think we can make it better? Right. So let's leave our comments in the comment section.